Of all the jobs you do every day, none is more important than keeping yourself and those around you safe from accident or injury. At John Deere, your safety is important. That's why we say, when it comes to mowing, always make the safe call. Making the safe call is the right thing to do, and it's your responsibility. This video will help by showing you the safest and most effective methods of mowing with and maintaining your John Deere Z-Track mower. It'll give you the information you need to make the safe call before you begin mowing, while you are mowing, and when you're done. Throughout, we'll pose safe call questions. See if you know the answers. And finally, before using your Z-Track, read the operator's manual. It has a lot more information you need to know. And remember, anyone operating the Z-Track must receive proper training and practice before mowing. Now, here's the first safe call question. What is the safest way to start out each day before mowing? We'll answer that in a moment. But first, we'll show you the Z-Track operating controls. You use the motion control levers to accelerate, brake, and steer all Z-Track models. To place the Z-Tracks in neutral, push the control levers out to the neutral lock position. To move forward, bring the levers together and gently push them forward. To move in reverse, pull the levers back. To make a right turn, slowly push the left lever farther forward than the right lever. To turn left, push the right lever farther forward than the left lever. The farther you push the levers, the quicker the response. Do not operate these levers rapidly. Sudden direction changes can cause loss of control or damage to the machine or turf. If you have never operated the Z-Track before, practice using the levers at half throttle until you are comfortable controlling direction and speed. Now to the rest of the controls. On the Mini Series 717A and 727A, the park brake lever is to your right when sitting in the seat. To your left is the fuel shutoff valve and the fuel tank cap. The seat adjustment lever is below the seat. Below that on the console is the hour meter, ignition key switch, PTO knob, choke, and the throttle lever. On the right side of the console are the mower deck transport lock lever and the height of cut adjustment pin. You can adjust the height of cut on all model Z-Tracks from 38 to 127 millimeters in 6 millimeter increments, or from 1.5 to 5 inches in quarter-inch increments. To adjust the height of cut on the 717A and 727A, park the machine safely. Then depress the deck lift lower pedal until the transport position lock lever engages. Place the height of cut adjustment pin in the correct hole for the height of cut you need. Press the deck lift lower pedal and release the lock lever, then lower the deck until it rests against the height of cut pin. On the Mid-Series, Max Series, and 997 diesel Z-Tracks, the park brake lever and the fuel tank cap are to your left when sitting in the seat. On the console to your right are the ignition switch, PTO switch, and throttle lever. All Mid-Series, Max Series, and diesel Z-Track models have oil pressure indicator and battery charge indicator warning lights, and an hour meter, which you should use to track recommended maintenance intervals. 737, 757, and 777 Z-Tracks also have a choke knob on the console. 777, 797, and 997 diesel Z-Tracks also have a coolant temperature indicator and an audible alarm. And the 797 and 997 diesel Z-Track comes with a check engine indicator light. In front of the console on all Mid-Series, Max Series, and 997 diesel Z-Tracks is the height of cut adjustment knob. Below that on the deck is the cutting deck lift pedal. To adjust the height of cut on the Mid-Series, Max Series, and Diesel Z-Track, park the machine safely on a level surface with the engine off and park brake engaged. Then step on the deck lift pedal and hold it down. Simply turn the height of cut knob to the height of cut you need, and release the deck lift pedal. Now, let's go back to our question. What is the safest way to start out each day before you begin mowing? First, make sure you are dressed safely with sturdy work shoes, long pants, snug-fitting clothes that won't be caught in moving parts, and hearing protection. Depending on the job, you may also want to wear heavy-duty gloves, safety glasses, a safety vest, and a hard hat. Always inspect the condition of your Z-Track before mowing. With the machine parked safely, make sure all hardware is tight and guards, shields, and safety decals are in place and in good condition. Check under the machine for any oil or coolant leaks. Make sure any needed adjustments or repairs are made before you mow. Make sure the rotary blades are in good condition. Raise the deck and with gloves on, check the blades, making sure they are not severely nicked or damaged. Replace any damaged blades before mowing. Check the engine oil, hydraulic oil, and radiator coolant levels to make sure they are correct. If needed, refill to the correct levels before mowing. Make sure there is no grass or debris clogging the radiator inlet screen, engine cooling air intake area, and other engine components. This helps keep the engine from overheating. Check the tires for damage or extreme wear. Use an accurate gauge to make sure they are inflated to the correct pressure shown in the operator's manual. All Z-Tracks have an operator presence system that shuts the engine off if you leave the seat with the PTO engaged or the park brake unlocked. See the operator's manual for information on how to test the operator presence system and test the PTO shutoff switch, park brake switch, neutral start switch, and seat switch before you mow. With the mower checked out, here's another make the safe call question. What is the safest way to mow near drop-offs, like retaining walls, ledges, and around water features? We'll answer that in a moment. But first, let's cover some information on starting and operating the Z-Tracks. Always mount the 717A and 727A mini-series Z-Tracks from the left side using the footplate. Always mount the 737, 757, 777, 797, and 997 diesel Z-Track from the front using the footplate. Do not step on the mower deck of any Z-Track model. To start the engine, sit in the seat. If the ROPS is up, fasten your seat belt. Make sure the motion control levers are in the neutral start position. The park brake is locked and the PTO knob disengaged. If cold starting the gas engine models, place the throttle lever to 1/2 and on the 737, 757, and 777 models, pull the choke knob up. Next, turn the key switch to the start position. The engine oil pressure and battery charge lights should illuminate, and on the model 797 only, the engine diagnostic light should illuminate as well. The audio alarm will sound intermittently and continue as long as the key is in the on position. When the engine starts, release the key to the run position. The indicator lights should all go out. On the Z-Track models with the choke, push the choke knob closed. On all models, move the throttle lever to the fast position and then unlock the park brake to transport the machine. If you are unfamiliar with operating the Z-Track, find an open area and practice steering and braking until you feel comfortable with the controls. When transporting, always operate at safe speeds with the PTO disengaged and the deck raised. Watch for traffic when transporting near roads. When transporting and when mowing, Be careful when approaching blind corners and around shrubs and trees that block your vision. When transporting on a trailer, carefully drive up the ramp, place the steering levers in neutral, lock the park brake, turn off the engine, and remove the key. Use heavy-duty straps, chains, or cables, attaching them to both front and rear of the mower so they run down and out from the machine. Now, let's answer our safe call question. What is the safest way to mow near drop-offs like retaining walls, ledges, and around water features? Make the safe call and use a John Deere walk-behind mower or string trimmer to cut grass close to these areas. Always keep a safe distance from retaining walls, ledges, and drainage ditches where a wheel could accidentally slip off, and around ponds where the ground can be unstable or slippery. Before starting to mow any area, always clear the area of any people or pets to keep them safe from injury. Then walk the mowing area and remove any debris and/or objects that could damage the mower or be picked up and then thrown from the discharge chute. Check for any potential hazards. It's a good idea to mark things like potholes, sprinkler heads, or other hidden hazards with flags so you can avoid running over them while mowing. Low-hanging branches are another potential hazard which you should avoid or remove before mowing. Study the area and plan a mowing pattern that is both safe and efficient. Look for drop-offs, like retaining walls or drainage areas, where a wheel could slip off and cause you to tip over. And note water features like ponds where the ground can drop off quickly and be unstable or slippery. Although Z-Track mowers are very stable, these areas present extra hazards. Okay, now it's time to mow, and here's another safe call question. What is the safest way to mow grass that is extremely wet? We'll answer after we cover some operation and safety info. Before you start mowing, make sure the deck is set at the correct height of cut and adjust it if necessary. Always mow with the throttle in the full position. Work safely, but stay productive and stay alert to potential hazards. Mow at slower speeds when trimming around trees and obstacles, when working in tight areas, or when mowing very tall grass. Avoid quick turns which could cause you to lose control of the mower, and never mow in reverse. Now, let's go back and answer the last safe call question. What is the safest way to mow grass that is extremely wet? Wait to mow it another time. If the grass is very wet, if the ground is soft and muddy, or there are puddles, you will not be able to get safe traction in these areas, especially on slopes. And mowing overly wet areas will also damage the turf. To keep others safe from injury and to protect property from flying debris when mowing, always keep the discharge chute in place. Never remove it or prop it up. Always be aware of the direction you are discharging the grass. Never discharge toward people, pets, or property. Stop mowing if someone approaches you. Do not raise the deck when the blades are running, and never carry riders. If you strike an object, park safely on level ground, then turn off the PTO, engage the brake, and remove the key. Get off and inspect the machine for damage. Have any damage repaired before mowing again. One area where you must work with extra caution is on slopes, which brings us to our next safe call question. How can you tell if a slope is safe to mow? We'll answer in a moment after these tips on mowing slopes safely. Always mow across slopes, never up and down. And always mow slopes at slower speeds. In fact, all of your movements on slopes should be slow and gradual. Do not make sudden changes in speed or quick turns. When you have to turn, turn downhill at a slow speed.